Welcome back everyone to another day of streams. Just gonna send the Zoom link out real quick. What's up? Cool. Should be good to go. Zoom link is sent. Analysis is about to start. Welcome back, guys. I don't think we had a. Can you guys hear me? What's the delay? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Nice. Yeah. I'm just gonna get straight into it. We're a minute late, but Zoom's also joining up, so all good. Welcome back. Hope everyone had a good weekend. But monthly, all right. Monthly, we filled the range, right? We filled up to these points here. So we're making another decision, right? Like we were making a decision down here, we're making a decision up here now. Where it wants to go, we don't know, right? And we're just gonna wait. We're gonna be patient with price. We're not gonna jump in and just think, oh, look, it's gonna go up because we're very bullish for the month. We don't know. Like, is this enough volume to go up? We don't know, right? So as we're in this range, any given time, at any given point, it can just come all the way back down into the range, fill the range again, and look to come down. This could be a fake out, right? To come down for it could be a monthly fake out. We don't know, but it also could be a monthly fake out to go up because we're previously bullish from last November, right? Let's drop it down to the weekly. Weekly closed bullish, all right? Weekly closed bullish above where? I would say above this support here, but every time we closed above, we filled up to here. I would say we tapped around these sorts of areas, like anywhere in this range here. We'll see it clearly on the daily, but for now, I'm just gonna have it here. I'm gonna drop that to daily actually, just to show you guys where that range is. So that range is probably somewhere around here. Yeah, like you can see that the daily actually closed respecting, right? And then the next range up, right? You could say kind of around here. So you did tap, right? 1995. We tapped 1997, I think, on Friday. So any given point, right? The weeklies come and fill the range, right? You have broken above, but you've broken above and filled the range. You've come back down, right, for this week. You filled this range down to these sorts of levels. So you're just going to range in this area. And the more you range, the more we're just going to wait and we're going to be patient, right? But eventually, when we break out, we have clearer direction to go up or down. And when that happens, we'll look for liquidity, we'll look for breakouts and whatever that happens, right? But the weekly closed off quite nicely, bullish above most recent. So we could say that what happened here, you know, for the previous weeks was just a fake out for price to grab liquidity. And in this case, right, if this is enough liquidity, if this was a liquidity grab, it's probably enough for us to retest all-time highs. So it's high chance, you know, with everything that's going on in the world as well, that we're gonna go towards these kind of like 2070, 2080 sorts of levels towards the end of the year. Daily, as I mentioned, we closed bullish. But actually we're about to close bearish, but respecting this, right? So at any given point, you know, you have these candles here, right? So these candles also, we were bullish, right? You were respecting here, but you continue to push up, right? These candles you faked out, you tapped these sorts of areas before you were able to do anything. So just looking off this push here, it's quite clear that you have a level around here, right? Level 1, and I guess you have a second level approximately here. And as you have these levels, right, we're looking for liquidity to be grabbed, right? Because you pushed up, you didn't break past, right? Here you also didn't break past, so you grab liquidity towards 1938. As that happens, right, it's going to come down. You've respected the range, it's going to come down. You're going to see it potentially respecting these sorts of areas and then start coming back up. And if that happens, we'll look for breakouts potentially above 53 to come retest. But currently, I would say looking for wick entries here, because we're so far away, it is difficult. The wick entry 72.38, that's like 400, like 300 pips, right? So obviously we're not going to be looking for that because it's the daily time frame. But just just understand that you've closed respecting. So at any given point, if you come down, it's not necessarily, oh cool, sell now. It's highly likely that we're going to get a fake out to go back up, and that's just going to be you know, what we call a liquidity grab. So let's jump to the 4. I think we analyzed this yesterday in the Zoom call, Sunday exclusive, saying that we're relatively bearish because of how the daily closed, respecting 1981. But cool, 4 hour. Just going to move my support and resistance a little bit. Generally, I'm pretty happy with it being here. I'd like it to be up here if possible, or here really. And then what's the next range down? Say here's not bad. Yeah, and then I mean, is this something? Cool. Yeah, I'll mark this up as well. Cool. So we have kind of another range around these areas, I would say. Yeah, here's fine. So this was a fake out, right? You closed below the range, right? You closed below, but then you immediately close back into the range. Fake out to start going back up, right? You've come up, you've filled the range, top of the range, towards around 1982, 1983. So you still, this is not enough volume for you to break out because you're still in the range, right? Any given point, you're just going to fill the range down to here, come back up. There probably is a slightly smaller range if you go up. I would say probably towards these sorts of areas as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's not bad. Towards here. So last time you had a fake out below, right? Got a fake out here, below, closed back up, tapped into here, tapped into these areas. So if you do come up to these areas now, I'll be looking for sells around here. But I'm just going to put here for now because it's a level that we're interested in, not necessarily definitely for sells, and I'll explain why. But that's a level, you know, price typically, that typically, you know, does something at. Towards here, I would say, where's the top of the range on the 4 hour? It's looking like it could be up to these sorts of areas here. Cool. Yeah, if it comes up to these sorts of areas, I'll be looking for price to make a decision. Not necessarily take a sell immediately, but it's just a key level, right? And what does that look like? It looks like if this fakes out, comes up to here, but we're respecting these sorts of areas, and then we just wick, I will be looking for sells. But if it starts slowly trickling up, I won't have anything. So for example, right, in this case, you had a 4 hour closing like this, your next 4 hour wicked all the way up, right? I would say, depending on how the hourly and whatever looked, but I would say in the middle of this range, you probably had hourly closures respecting 1983 or 1995. As that happens, as you're respecting, you got that top wick and you started coming down. So let's have a look at what that was and if I was right. I think we put a box there so I can find it. Yeah, you look at this, right? So you had, it's actually difficult to get into any position, but you had this hourly with no bottom wick, right? Indicating that there is a chance that you need to grab liquidity before going up, but you pushed all the way up, you respected 2004. It's probably difficult in this case to get that sell here, just because you closed above the range, right? You closed without really a top wick, but your next candle closed above with a wick, right? And you also grab liquidity. So this push without a bottom wick could just be the push. So we don't know if that's just going to be, you know, like it's just going to continue driving from here. But you probably had some form of smaller time frame confirmation. Once you closed respecting, your next hourly respecting, you probably could have taken some breakouts to come back down. That's why it's not necessarily always sells there, but let's go back to the 4. So cool. So the 4 hour currently is just in a range between 83 and 67. All right. Last time you were in that range, kind of similar to these sorts of areas, I would say you're in between 74 and 67 for now. Every time you're in that range and you were relatively bullish, you know, you kind of came down after tapping these sorts of areas. 1983, what's the top of this range? Towards around these areas. So I'm actually going to remove this. I'm just going to move this because it's very high up, right? We're very far away from there. But every time you're respecting, you know, you come down, you've respected here, you've come up to these sorts of areas to grab liquidity before you're able to push down. So cool. It's not bad, it's not bad. Respecting fake out up. Yeah, so no sell wicks, no buy wicks, I would say. Generally what it looks like, right? Price was very bullish, had a massive rejection here. You've closed below, right? So this could be a lower low. If this is a lower low, right, then this could be a lower high. So if this breaks out of here, it's a high chance it's going to come down and follow that bearish motion. Because if this was a liquidity grab, right, you would have gone and you would have created a new higher high. But because you haven't created that higher high, if you create that lower low first, it's a high chance you're going to come up, grab that liquidity to start driving down. So I'm just going to look, I want to have a look at where we can get those sells below. Because this is likely to be a fake out, because we're generally bullish for, I would say, the week and the months. But short term, we're bearish because the daily closed bearish, right? And we're also respecting 1995, I think, on the daily or whatever it was. So, where's the cleanest traffic? That's what I want to know. Potentially we can get sells below here. There's not bad. This filled the range as well. Closure below. What's below here? 69 and 67. Closure below. Fake out to come back down, and liquidity towards 72. Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, so I'm looking to mirror something like these, right? So you've created a lower low. If you do come down, create that next lower low, right? We could be potentially looking for breakouts below 69. So what does 69 look like? So let's go into the 515. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad, guys. Yeah, cool. I would say I'll probably look for a breakout below here. If you get a breakout below here, I might be looking for some. I'll need a top wick. Why? Because you haven't really broken the overall structure yet. You're just kind of creating short-term, very short-term lower lows, right? And why am I not taking the wicks, right? Wick sells to come down? Because we're currently bearish, right? We were very bullish previously. So any given point, if it pushes up, you could have just repeated what Friday, Thursday, the whole of last week did, and just continue to push up, right? If you got into sells around these areas, you never came back, right? You just continue to push, and that's just because of global news, due to catalysts and everything, right? So that's why taking the wick entries to take sells down might be difficult. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. So I'm going to be looking for breakouts, especially when it closes below, top wick breaking all the structure, and then I'll have a sell stop to come down. So that's what's going to happen here, and mainly for that, I would say your advantage point. I'd say if you say you get like a breakout here and then you get this position, your advantage point is less. It's about 8 pips. It's not a lot. You could say you can drag down to 11, but at about this point, once it fills this wick, I don't know where it's going to go. So I'm probably break even at about 8. And if you just barely get a breakout like right below here, then you can say it's about 10 pips, right? But realistically, if it breaks out, you're not going to catch the entire thing. So around 8 pips, right? And then if you get a closure below, let's have a look. I want this slightly higher, but 60. I don't have enough candles. Fuck. This is. Yeah, if you get a breakout below here on a slightly higher time frame, like the 15. Obviously, if you break down below 65, it's just sells off the rip, right? But if this does happen, I will need to look at structure. If the structure is, it's doing something like this, where it's like coming down slowly, and then it comes down to here, right? Cool. I'll potentially get some sells below, but I'll be really aggressive with these, because any given point you get a wick down, right? And then this could just be liquidity to start driving up again to follow the overall bias, right? But I would be taking this trade here. So once it closes below, flip down, and I'll be out relatively quickly. I wouldn't look for this to fill the entire range, just because I don't know where the next range is. This is just clean traffic. Like, is this going to push down to 1957, or is it going to stop towards around 1962, right? So those are the sells below here, but yeah, I'll need like a higher time frame breakout, unless. So what could also happen, guys, is, for example, right, you're now breaking from this range into this range. I would say probably breaking below here on the 30. So because you're now in this range, right, any given point, you know, you could break below here, and if you get a top wick towards these sorts of areas, and this breakout has a bottom wick, I'll potentially look for. Can I get wick entries? Can I get wick entries? What does this look like? If we get a breakout below, I cannot get wick entries. I'll have to take the flip. Understanding that if this happens and you look for a wick entry at any given time, you just do this. And the only wick entries you could get is probably like above in these sorts of areas where you've now broken above, right, on a wick. So for example, you've come up from these sorts of areas, you've come up, and then you've taken a sell around these areas, and you maximum be taking profit around here before it goes up, because now you're breaking all the highs. It's a high chance that you're going to start retesting the highs, so you're only looking for this grab. But then it's also dangerous, because with the way price was pushing, we're very aggro. I would assume you're probably still pretty aggro for the rest of October, unless you've slowed down. If this is indication that we're slowing down, then fine. This is why we're taking breakouts. Cool. But if we do get a breakout buy, I'm looking for buys as well, guys. Buys probably above here. Every time you closed above, right, came up to here, came up to here, this, even that wick came up to here. So if you fill this entire range first, and I'm talking about the range to here, from 78 to 81, so that's about 30 pips, right? So nice 27, 30 pips, right? So if you get a breakout, I'll look for a bottom wick and then flip up. I wouldn't be taking this off the rip. And then obviously if you get a breakout above, let's say here, these are just off the rip, because every time you broke above, straight clean traffic all the way up, right? What does this look like on the 5? Let's try to get these more exact for you guys. This is, yeah, you got some fake outs there. There's a lot of noise around these areas, so I would wait for higher time frame confirmations, guys. Like, this is just range, right? This is just price not knowing where it wants to go. You had a strong rejection on Friday, you had another push down. This could be a liquidity grab to start going up, so yeah, just be careful. Take what makes the most sense for you. So for example, today, I think Bougie and I took the same trade, but I think it was here, right? So you were bullish, right? So you came down, but you came back up to these areas, right? So you pushed down, came back up to this area. So this could have been a liquidity grab. So still bullish, right? Overall bullish, and then you had this structure. So you broke above on the 30. You could say you kind of respecting, but you broke above, understanding that we haven't grabbed much liquidity to go up, came down, all right? Once this happened, you had another 30-minute closure above this range. This could have been a fake out to start going back up, right? So once you got this bottom wick here, I think I got in like slight wick entry, like 77 sorts of areas, and then not quite 30, maybe 30 pips actually. I think I got exited at 81 exactly, understanding that, you know, you had basically no top wick for this candle. I think there was a 5 which closed no top wick as well, so I exited. But I think, Bougie, I think you took the same trade, right? Yeah, you took the flip. Yeah, I think I took one entry on the flip and one entry as a wick. Yeah, but that's why you don't take sells here, right? I think I got into a sell and very quickly I was like, oh shit, this looks really bad for a sell, so I got into a buy instead. But taking a sell here, even though you see no bottom wick, so any given time it can flip, right? But understanding that overall is bullish. You're bullish, and previously you're so bullish, so this could have been a liquidity grab for us to start pushing higher. Obviously you didn't, right? You stopped here. But that's exactly what we're looking to take, 20, 30 pips, and then get out. Yeah, I just don't think you can get any wick entries with current price. Say you're closing. Where's the hourly? Because like your hourly, you had a support around here. You broke that support, right? But you've already grabbed liquidity towards these areas, right? You have liquidity to go up. You have liquidity, short-term liquidity to come down, right? Like this was a fake out. This was a closure back into the range, and then you had another fake out to come down. This more liquidity grab to come break out of the range. Yeah, like it's difficult to get a wick entry because you've already tapped those areas. Between 70, I mean, let's look at the higher time to see if we can get anything. So you've tapped 65, you've tapped 1997, 1995. So last time pushed up, you tapped around 1997, so it's these areas, right? Top of these areas, cool. You haven't tapped 1938, so I mean, obviously, if you do come down to 1938, maybe you'll get a buy, right? But I don't know when that's gonna happen. If it does, cool. If it doesn't, like you've tapped 1965, right? So 1965 is that kind of area that we recently tapped. So any given time, you know, we've now respected. Actually, let me do this. Now you can see two things. Whoa. All right, so this is the 4 hour. So at this price point, which is 1961, which is where we tapped around here, right? You can see this. Then we came up to these areas, right? Around here. Fantastic, right? So we've already tapped these two levels. You can't get into another wick entry because you've already tapped the wick entries. So it's very difficult, right? But if you do get breakouts, you see this, breakout below, straight down, right? Clean traffic down. If you get into a buy, I'm looking for buys above here, right? If you get into a buy, which you didn't ever close above, but when you closed above here, you just drove straight up, right? So that's why we're looking for the breakouts. Mainly because you've tapped 84, well not quite 84, like 82, 7, and you've tapped 66, 65. So that's basically the analysis for tonight. Yeah. No wick entries, unfortunately, but with the way price is so aggro, I wouldn't look for wick entries anyways. I've made that mistake a couple times, so yeah, I'm gonna start unmuting people on the Zoom, start asking questions. Yeah. Yo.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Welcome back.
Thank you, yeah, it's good to be back.
Any questions?
Alright, a quick one. I'm not sure if it's going to make sense. When I explain it, I'll just give it a go. Okay, so you know the trade that you were explaining you took today?
Yeah.
I was also looking at that, and my sort of understanding of it was, if that move up, that aggressive move up, was going to be a liquidity to drive down, I was thinking that it was after that wick up, it would be more of an aggressive move down, but instead we just started ranging. So that could that be
here?
Almost like yeah. So could that almost be an indication of like there wasn't enough liquidity on the sell side to drive properly, because we started ranging, so it needed more liquidity from the upside if it was going to make that move down. So then,
yeah,
like
I would say generally when you were here, right, you closed bearish, right, on 130 minute. You closed another bearish 30 minute with no bottom wick, right? Then you close bullish, forming some sort of support around these areas, right? Then you started ranging here, so you had no direction, right? But I would say generally you were bullish to come up. You broke these highs, right? So this could be a liquidity grab to start driving further up. This could have been a liquidity grab for us on the higher time frame to start driving up again as well. And obviously, like as this has come down to like 1965, we don't know if price is bearish until we break 1965 on a closure, right? Because at any given point, this could just be, you know, your next lower high, and this could have been another lower high here for us to start retapping those 2080 levels and all-time highs, right? But once you got this shorter time frame 30-minute closure above back into this range, right, I was like, okay, cool. That is enough indication for me that price in the short term is gonna fill this range up to 81, and potentially even up to, I would say your next range up is like 82.5, so another 10 pips max. But because I'm also understanding that, I think like there was like a no top wick on the, yeah, like this candle right here, it closed right at support, and this had no top wick, right? No top wick, we're expecting this. You came down first, I was holding still, came up to here, you tapped like right there, which was like this support here. So it's like, cool, right? There's a high chance that that's where you're gonna stop. So that's where I kind of exited. But generally, that's why we waited for, I would say that's probably why me and Bougie both waited for this 30 to close above. And then once you got this 30-minute bottom wick, right, breaking the previous 30-minute lows. So if it does flip, there's a high chance it's going to just start going up, at least for the short term, right?
Yeah. Would you have not taken it if we didn't see that such large wick down?
Yeah, 100%.
Bottom wick?
Yeah. Because I would say I wanted it to break. It didn't need to break all the way down to like these sorts of areas, obviously, because if it does, then we're just potential structures changing, right? So this was a perfect bottom wick, right? Just breaking this. I think, like, does it look better on like the other time frames? It was this, right? You got a closure above on the 15 as well. This closure above had basically no top wick. Your next closure also was above the range, because you could have technically put it here, right? Then you could have had a no closure above. Close above most recent though, and this one also closed above. Then this one, right, came down. First thing, no top wick, right? No top wick. I was like, okay, cool. You've broken above. High chance you're gonna flip and fill. And then this bottom wick was juicy as fuck. But yeah, I was looking for it to break at least these 15 lows, which is why I think I got that position towards 77. But as it came down to these areas, I was like, yeah, this is quite nice.
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
No worries. Connor, you doing alright?
Yeah, man, good. How about you?
Yeah. Any questions for me today?
I don't think I have any today.
Nice.
But thank you. Yeah.
Well, what's your analysis today? Like, what are you looking for?
I was kind of on the same boat. I was more on like the sidelines just because I like slept in and I didn't want to like try to force myself to look into a trade. But I think ideally I was gonna look for maybe a push of sells around the same area that you had, but I had like 1971 marked up, and I was gonna try to get some of that clean traffic to the left down 10 pips or so at least.
Thing is, if you close below here, I think this is probably your level 97.95, right? If you do close below there, it's okay. I'm just worried that, you know, every time you did close below, you did fake out, and like this was also a fake out to go up. Is that direction for us to go up? Is it like, yeah, it's just worrying. But I mean, there's a high chance you'll fill this range, right? But that's why I'm taking the sales below here, because after this, it's just there's just one candle. This is like one candle, just straight down. So
that makes more sense, yeah.
But you can, like, if this happens, right? If this happens, I would say if the first closure below didn't fill the range, right? And then you started creating this onion formation, and then you came out, broke all these highs, I'd be looking to take the flip here. And that would be okay. Sense. Yeah. But only if this happens.
Those are like respecting.
Yeah, but now that this has printed, like, I'm kind of worried about this. So yeah, it's just what your next cleanest range is. But yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Izzy, how are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing fine. How are you?
Yeah, good. You had a couple questions, right?
Yeah.
Hit me.
I have like some basics. All right. I did analyze the chart.
Yeah.
And I was just like basic levels. Like the level, I did like the 4-hour level, like 1966. If price would close below it, like with a 1-hour candle, like just like a clean area to sell.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like you would also take this trade.
Yeah, so I marked out sells below here, right? So once we get a closure, brackets closure, if we get a closure on any time frame, I would say even the 5. If you get a 5 closure, maybe not, because it's kind of difficult here. But if once you get a 5 closure below here, maybe I would say you'd probably be pretty good to start coming down. And this would be your advantage point, right? Then you could take this to come down, and this would be 18. So probably take 15 pips as your break even, and then obviously once you close below here, yeah, you're just gone. Oops, I can't draw this for some reason. Yeah, but like on the 15, on the 30, if you get any of those closures below, once you get that, I'll look for a top wick and then flip. But if you get a 5-minute closure below 64, yeah, I'm just gone. Like I'm pretty sure you'll just drive down to fill 61 at least. Like I'm looking left, I'm looking like your last time you maybe you'll fill up to like here, right, 61.7, but like this, you know, you have this support here, you have this wick here, high chance you're going to come down to fill this. So yeah.
Okay.
What else were you looking for?
I was like I wanted to. I didn't force the trade because it wasn't my session.
Yeah,
but
that's good.
I thought like 1973. If it would close below this area.
Like currently.
Yeah. If we like in the Asia session, if price would close below it, but it didn't.
Oh, Asian session as in like last night.
No, today. If price would like closed under this area, and yeah.
As
would
in
you
like.
Go there for a sell position.
As in you said 1973.
Yes.
1973. We're currently at 1973.
Yeah, I did just mark out like for 2 hours ago, you know.
Oh, okay,
like,
yeah.
If price will just range there above this area, and if it closed below this, you know.
Yeah,
would
yeah.
you go there for
enough.
a sell position?
I would say it's difficult because this, I mean, yeah, like you marked it up 2 hours ago, so I don't know where the charts were 2 hours ago, but like with this, it's difficult, right? Like I don't know if this is liquidity for us to drive up. Like I think 2 hours ago, what is the time now? Like 23, so 21. I mean, let's go back, right? 21. Let's say around here, right? Like the sells below 73, I think are difficult because firstly, you got a closure without a bottom wick. You also didn't close below what I would say is 71.95, which is a stronger level of support. If you got a closure below here, maybe, and like in this next candle, maybe could have gotten something here, but again, I'm worried that like at any given point, right, this, you know, this could be a liquidity grab to go up and fill this range. Price previously here was also relatively bullish. You still were respecting this range, right? You're in this range here, so this could be liquidity for us to go up again. What does price look like in other time frames? I mean, you're short-term bearish, but your 4 hour also closed respecting 74, so it's difficult.
How would you go for the weekly bias? Like, cause it's just like I'm not sure how the weekly.
Yeah.
How would you
So
like,
when we look for bias, it's very much just what we're expecting price to do in the near future. So usually we look at the daily for bias, but for example, right?
Yeah.
If we go to the daily, daily we close bearish, right? We close bearish respecting this, right? You have a very strong level of support here, right? So you're respecting this. So understanding that every time we were respecting this, right, all of these times here, like all of these, literally, like including this as well, we came down to tap down to these areas. Alright?
Okay.
So, because we haven't tapped into these areas yet, I am bearish until we tap 1954.
Okay, then you think the whole week will be a bear shoot?
Yeah, because like, you know, you've closed, you know, respecting, so there's not enough volume to push up. So if you are going to grab liquidity, it's going to be below 1954. But to do that first, you're going to, so what we're likely going to see is like this, right? Like this. And then it comes down, grabs liquidity before pushing up, right? So it's going to fill the range first, and the range is 1954. Every time it comes respecting 1954, came back up, right? Rejected again, pushed below, but pushed below here again, didn't break, started coming down, right? Here, broke here, you tapped here, came down, 54, ranged all the way back up, broke, faked out back in, tapped around 72 again, and then you're just in this range. And every time you close respecting this range, even here, right? Faked out, came down, here, faked out again, came down to 54, here, respected, 54, like, 54 is going to get touched some point. I just don't know when.
Yeah.
Yeah, like here bearish below 54, bearish below 54. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna give it like 100% that it's gonna definitely come down to tap 54, but it's a pretty good chance, man. Like, look at this, right? You tap these sorts of areas, rejected 54, right? Straight down 54, straight down, rejected, tap 54, even lower. This one you didn't even come up, right? 54 is a pretty strong level.
You know, I just thought like because the weekly candle, like the week above. Like a week ago, I mean, closed above this strong resistance there. I thought the weekly candle will like highly target the 2016 area.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm still in general for like the months and the weeks. I'm very bullish, right? Don't get me wrong, but I'm just understanding for us to get to those areas, we will need to tap 54. We will need to break down
like
below.
A bottom week.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm expecting, right, is something along the lines of, like, let's say we're on the monthly, right? Let's just say weekly. I'm going to draw a couple candles. I'm expecting price to do something like this, right? Tap. Next one, maybe do something like this, right? Then you maybe get a closure above, right?
Yeah.
But on this closure above, right, I'm going to look for this to tap down towards these sorts of areas. Why? Because I'm understanding every time you closed and you went above, right? Look at this. Look at this. You tap these areas to make a decision, right? So 54, 36, those are your key levels. And then once you get this, right, we'll look for bottom wick, right? When it does this, bottom wick, I don't know, somewhere in these areas. If you've tapped this level, you might not need that much of a bottom wick. So once it does this, look for a buy stop, flip, or potentially wick entries. Yeah?
Yeah. Alright.
Naga, how do you join voice call? So you can join EvolutionDVS membership, which is £20 a month. You can just DM me if you're interested, but yeah, we have a couple people in here because I feel like talking to people and like getting this interaction, it is a lot better. But yeah, if you're interested, just let me know. DM me on Discord or DM me on Instagram, EvolutionDVS there. But yeah, I'm just going back to my levels. I'm gonna go through some. Unless anybody else, Jacob, do you have any questions? If not, I'm gonna go towards chat. We're gonna start looking at chat now. Mandor, yeah, cheers, man. Thanks for coming to the analysis. 1954. Honestly, 1954 is not bad. Like 1954. If you do come down to 1954, what does this look like, right? I'm expecting once you break below to 1961, break below 1966, 1964, clean traffic to 61. If you do break below there, it's clean traffic to 54. What I'd like to see for the buys, if you do get it, is, for example, price breaks below here, but respects on the 4 hour, does something like this, right? Respects, right? And then your next candle you have like a bullish closure respecting forming this support. If you then get this, I look for that. That's the only way I can get buys at 54 currently. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen before you get to 54. You're very far away, like 200 pips away. Yeah, I would say wait for Asian session for now. Daily no bottom wick can sell now? No. Why? Because currently you don't know where the daily candle is going to create that top wick at, right? At any given point, this could be liquidity. Like, if we put this into perspective as well, right? Where did the daily close? Daily closed here. Last time daily closed here, potentially respecting. Do we have any examples? Yeah, look at this, right? Daily closed respecting here. Tap 1997 again, right? So what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna, you can hold 300 pips? Well, that's bad news for you, because my friend, this is literally like 300 pips, and then your stop loss is probably up here for about 370 pips. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. Yeah, cool. I don't think there are that many questions, but yeah, so again, welcome back guys to this week's analysis. I am currently considering Mondays being like, because I'm relatively busy on Mondays, so I'll have to decide if Mondays is going to be a stream day, but if it isn't, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, anybody can join the EvolutionDVS sort of membership. It's literally like, I think it's like £1 per breakdown, which is literally just to cover my hour in terms of cost, and also gives you guys a chance to ask questions live. So like, for example, if we have 5 people on the Zoom today, there was a chance that I wouldn't re-chat, right? Depending on how long I was staying. So and like asking questions, I feel like in real life gives a lot better interaction in general. But yeah. Was Santos here? Yeah. Good night, Santos. Good night, Kurt. Why was I 1 minute late? Yeah, so on Mondays I'm just very busy. Like, I actually get home at like 10:30 or like 10:15, and then I have to like prep and everything before streams. And now, like, you can see like how I'm like lagging with this, right? I have to open Zoom, I have to open OBS, I have to open YouTube, I have to open this chart, and like, yeah, it's everything is just it takes a while. But yeah, cool. If we don't have any more questions, I'm going to end it here. Anybody on Zoom have any questions? I'm going to try to unmute Jacob one last time.
I have, Jacob said he's like not at home.
Oh, okay, yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries, Jacob. Yeah.
I have one question. I'm curious why your chart look like this. You know, my chart look like really different.
Oh, because you can change the settings.
Yeah, can you, like, your chart's like more together, you know?
Yeah, you can change all of this, like all of these, like symbols. You can change the colors. You can change like everything, like the lines.
No, I don't mean like the look. I mean like more your chart seems more like, you know, more together. I don't know how to.
Are you on Oanda?
That's a broker or not?
Yeah, so if you're on anything else besides Oanda, there might be a difference.
My chart looks like really.
So what does your chart say
like,
here?
Wait, yeah. I just have like capital combo.
I mean, like, we can go through it sometime. If you just like send me a screenshot in the thing.
Yeah, I can do that. Okay.
Yeah, just let me know. Oh, Jacob wants to unmute. Yeah, sup, Jacob?
I think he's talking about, like, you know, when you scroll down, like when you right there. Yeah, when you scroll and you drag your chart.
Oh,
I think he's talking about that.
Yeah, so Izzy, it's this. Like, if you draw this, it's just like, for example, right? If you're really zoomed in on the 5 minute, right? Because you have to be really zoomed in to see kind of like the levels. Like,
no, I know that, I know everything, but
never mind.
My question is like, if you can watch on the 1 hour chart, you can watch like several weeks ago, you know, like
Oh, it might be your monitor size, I guess. Like, I don't know what size your monitor is.
I don't have. Okay, then it could be that.
Yeah, because I have slightly more space on my monitor.
Okay, then
Yeah.
it's
Because what? Yeah, you're probably seeing this, but like only chopped up to half, right? Like something like this,
like,
only on the left side. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a monitor size. Or you can just zoom out in general for your computer, so like your overall computer zoom. But yeah.
Okay, then it's good.
Cool. Right. Cheers, guys. Cheers for coming round.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.
Right.
And join Wix's stream, yeah? Take it easy and join Wix's stream, have stop loss and all that shit. Cool. See you guys.
Alright, man.
Cheers.
Yeah, ciao.